Hi everybody, today I want to talk to you about the book of Galatians and an important distinction that scholars disagree about. Well, the writing of Paul's epistle ranges in date from 48 AD to 60 AD, and which date one finds themselves most leaning toward tends to center around several things. One, the term Galatia itself. First, far from a small town, Galatia represented a region in modern Turkey, Asia Minor of the time. It represented a melting pot of native Phrygians, immigrant Gauls, modern French, Romans, as well as Greeks and Jews. While the message of the epistle is clearly justification of a believing Christian by faith, and the freedom it entails, there are two lines of thought about the audience and who they were, and this is where it gets interesting. Now, follow me. If Paul's audience were the immigrant Gauls who migrated to Galatia with the spiritual baggage of their pagan Druidism in North Central Asia Minor during his second missionary journey, then the epistle was most likely written near 60 AD. By then, the Gauls dominated North Galatia. If Paul's Galatians means the larger integrated Roman-controlled province where he had preached on his first missionary journey more generally, then the southern Galatian theory is prominent, and it was written in 48 AD. Now, more hinges on this theory than just the date of the letter. The meaning of Paul's words could potentially lead to completely different spiritual understanding depending on our knowledge of who his audience was. This point has been studied on its own, and in recent years, the Northern Galatian theory is enjoying a resurgence. It was believed common for the first several hundred years of the church until the teachings of Augustine of Hippo, followed by Thomas Aquinas later, really changed the way things were thought about. And then the naturalism of the last several hundred years also influenced and kind of squelched the supernatural aspects of Scripture and the cosmic war taking place between good and evil. Nowadays, we see a resurgence of people who understand the Nephilim, the giants of the Bible, and they understand that the narrative of Scripture is the story of human redemption from beginning to end. It's all one book. It's a battle between seed. Now let me go to the book of Galatians and point out a few things to you that compel me to believe that this book was written in 60 and it is focused toward the northern Galatians, the Druids, the Gauls of that time. In the very first chapter, it says, "I marvel that you're turning away so soon from him who called you in the grace of Christ to a different gospel, which is not another, but there are some who trouble you and want to pervert the gospel of Christ. But even if we, or an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel to you than what we have preached to you, let him be accursed." Why does he make it a point to say if an angel preach a gospel to you? I find that interesting. Now, if you go to chapter 3, something else occurs. He says, "Brethren, I speak in the manner of men. Though it is only a man's covenant, yet if it is confirmed, no one annuls or adds to it. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made." He does not say, "and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to your seed, which is Christ." Now think back to Genesis 3. "I will put enmity between your seed and her seed." Talking about the serpent and Eve. Now, to wrap it all up, let's take a quick look at what the Druids believed, because they followed lunar, solar, earth calendars. And wasn't it Arakiel that taught signs of the earth, Shamsiel that taught signs of the sun, and Sariel the course of the moon? That all the pagan religions ended up adopting their various beliefs and customs off of. I'm sorry, folks. The book of Galatians was written in 60. It's relative to Paul's missionary journey where he preached in northern Galatia, the area dominated by the Gauls. And his teaching and his writing is written with these things in mind. Now go read the book of Galatians. It's deep. You'll read about this eventually in the New Christian History of the Church, the book, when it's done. I'm doing some writing this weekend, and I'm adding to chapter 1 a section that includes to the chronology when the books of the New Testament were most likely written, who the audiences were, etc., what various amanuensis were involved, just cleaning it up, tightening it up, stuff you don't get to see in the videos. So you're going to have to buy the book when it comes, hopefully, God willing, by Christmas. Talk to you next time, friends. Thanks.